What's up guys, and welcome to today's brand new video, which is a little strategy or case study in a way on how to make $31,668 in sales within a month with just one particular Shopify product. So I know that many people have a lot of products in their store. I'm a huge fan of one product stores. So far I had like 4 or 5 one product stores already. Some of them worked well, others didn't at all. But the point is, one product stores can be enormously powerful for your e-commerce business to like focus your marketing, to have everything in one place. And if you manage to really make one product store work, you can really make tremendous sales and profits with it. So this one here is actually a really interesting way how this whole thing like happened. Normally what I do when I work with other clients, so not my own stuff, is that I fully manage their like Google ad accounts or Facebook ads accounts, and we do the marketing strategy together. But with this particular client, I was actually just like an advisor. So we had three different calls that we had together, where I was helping them and we were discussing different tips and strategies. And in the end, the end result was this particular store here with this sales in place. And I'm really excited to share you some of the tips and some of the strategies that we exactly applied that way to the store. So of course, without like giving away the product or something like that, I can tell you exactly step by step the things that we did that we then applied to the store successfully. So this being said, without any further ado, let's jump right to the video. And if you also want to have a free session with me, I'm currently doing a giveaway for you guys. So if you want to take part in the giveaway, right in the description, you can do that. And I'm giving away 2 one-hour sessions of consulting entirely for free, where we can go over your business, like product sales and marketing, Google ads, etc., to take your business to the next level. This being said, let's get right started. And first of all, what we used for our marketing in this case was Facebook ads, Google ads, and influencer marketing. So just something up front, you know that I'm a huge fan of Google ads, but we used all 3 advertising platforms. It's not necessary, but we will talk about them later in this video again. For now, I want to talk about 3 different steps, which are finding the product first, building the store, and marketing strategy. I want to keep the finding the product part fairly short because there is not that much magic to it, and also the product research process is a little bit different to what you normally do. So I just want to keep this very straightforward to the point, and then focus on building the store and the overall marketing strategy. I'm talking about like the overall things that you can do. So I'm not sitting there now and putting a store together step by step, which would probably take like 3 hours or so. I'm really giving you the details and the information you need to build one yourself for your business. So let's start with the first category of finding the product. And the thing is, where you can look for your product when it comes to one product store, but also in general, are, for example, AliExpress, right? Everyone knows it, everyone probably uses it, but also Alibaba, globalsources.com, a highly professional website to find quality products. Spocket, which I have a review on my channel, where you can source products directly from Etsy to your store, very high quality and unusual stuff. Wholesale to be a pretty good dropshipping directory for United States suppliers. And of course, Google. Not many people do that, but you can in fact look for suppliers on Google for your products, and you can directly talk to them. You can check whether they have good quality products, etc., etc. The point is of course not that important where you look. It's more important like what to look for and what types of products work well. And without going like super specific here, because I know that many people do product research like the product needs to have like 25 sales on AliExpress, or 100 sales, or 1,000 sales, or a product needs like certain views on Facebook ads. The point is, for one product stores, it's kind of difficult, but in general, what you should look for is an ideal price point of like $30 to $200. So normally I'm a big believer in high ticket stores, but the point is, if you have a really high ticket product as a one product store, people don't, normally a one product store or one product landing page is very, very short and to the point. And people, if they want to buy like a $700 item from you and they just have this one little page and not much information about yourself, it's very hard to convert them. So it's easier to convert them on a high ticket product in like a regular store where they are very familiar with the navigation, where you can talk a lot about yourself and like an about us page and all these things. If you just have like a one product landing page, usually you want to be somewhere in that $30 to $200 range. Also, ideally, it's an impulse driven sale. So if they go to your landing page, there is nothing else that they can do. They can just go through it from A to Z, from top to bottom. And if the product is like impulse driven, fairly cheap, like let's say $40 for example, you can literally hit conversion rates of 5, 6, 7, 8% and more if it works all together with traffic, offer, etc. Then some typical like good products for these one product stores are either entertaining or funny or useful or unique. Normally those normal boring products like furniture items, for example, don't work that well. Clothing doesn't work that well because you normally need this variety to show multiple products. Many other things don't work well too, but you know, if a product is entertaining, if it's funny, like they just see it and it's just something funny, not very useful, then it's normally good. On the other hand, if it's a very useful like gadget or product like kitchen product, for example, that can do very well, and if it's just a unique product that people just don't see elsewhere, this can also work pretty well. And this is pretty good for a one product store and not like a normal general store. The target audience, there are two ways and they're somewhat contradicting each other. First of all, you want to find something that is very easy to target because you just have this one product and you don't have other products people can also have a look at. On the other hand, you can also look something with a very broad general appeal. So if you have like an average kitchen gadget, right? It's not something that is super specific, has a very specific target audience. It has a very broad general appeal, and the good thing about that is that you can literally come up with like great videos and they can go viral, or they can hit like huge numbers in viewers, and then you can retarget to those people. So one story here, when I worked with a client in Brazil like half a year ago or something, we were selling those very common projectors, right? These mini projectors where you can project your movie to like the wall, and we literally had a Facebook audience of 70 million people, and it worked extremely well. So it's a very general product, right? You cannot really define a very good target audience for that. I mean, sure, like movie lovers and cinema stuff, but in general, it is a pretty broad product. And both of that works pretty well, either something super specific or something with a very broad appeal where you can go with a lot of videos, etc. The point is, something in between is kind of difficult. So if you have something that just has a somewhat decent audience, right, like 500,000 people on Facebook, or something that tailors to one specific interest group, but nothing above that, and the interest group is fairly broad, these are normally not that great. Then there are some proven categories that you can look for. First of all, like I said, gadgets, kitchen gadgets, and other things that are just useful in a way that are normally quite cheap and that just help you with certain, with certain things in your everyday life. Then consumer electronics can also work pretty well when it comes to like drones or these projectors that I talked about. There are many different things. Certain smartwatches can work very well, and there are many things within the consumer electronics space that can do extremely well and that will help you make sales, because people go crazy over these products, especially if you offer them a good price. Toys always work great. You know, if you get parents to buy toys for their children and they're not that expensive, and if you have a good, like, playful, cool landing page, you can literally make crazy sales with them. Same goes for cosmetics. If you have not like just one piece of lipstick or something, but a more unique item, a more unique cosmetics item, also maybe something electronic here, like I don't know, some sort of cleaner or so, this can do very well with the right testimonials on top of it and good imagery, etc. But also branded products, of course, probably you guys cannot do that yet, but if you have the capacity of branding a product, this can do very well, because now you can, you know, design all your images and logos and social media designs, etc., all in this one brand design, and it just works well better than with a normal dropshipping product. These were just some very like starting pieces of advice for you to find a product. As I said, it's not the focus of this video to come up with a product idea, because you can literally turn anything into one product store, and there are plenty of videos out there on product research. With this being said, though, I want to give you some more insights on building the store, so some general tactics, and also one landing page example that you can use to live by and kind of model your store. So First of all, what you need to test is whether you either want to use an online store for like Shopify with a theme like Debut, because here it's easier to work with variants, right? So you can have one product with multiple variants and it's very easy to set up. Also, Shopify obviously is fully designed for e-commerce. But then also everything integrates very, very easily with Shopify because it's so used right now. This is a big advantage if you use Shopify or generally in an online store for this one product project. On the other hand, you should definitely consider using a landing page with, for example, ClickFunnels, right? So the thing is, it's super targeted. So you just have this one product, so it's perfectly targeted to this project if you use the landing page tool. And also it's very easy to set up like funnels and upsells, etc., which is not always that great with Shopify, right? You don't have these little bumpers that pop up in checkout. It's not fully designed to support a perfect upsell funnel, etc. So consider using a landing page builder like ClickFunnels or Kartra, or actually like Pagefly for Shopify to set up your store, to set up your run product project instead of using Shopify. If I would have to decide by myself, I would probably either go for ClickFunnels or using a landing page tool like Pagefly or Zipify for Shopify, but I probably wouldn't go with a normal Shopify theme. Then when it comes to landing pages, so let's say you have this in place, right? Whether you use Shopify or not, of course you need the landing page for that one product store. And here is a quick breakdown before I then go into detail for each and every product, for each and every element of the landing page, so that you have some more ideas on how to really use them in your specific situation. So first of all, you need a title. You need an introduction, you need a problem or a pain point that you want to solve, so you need the solution to this problem or pain point. Then of course comes the section where you really introduce your offer, so the product and the price. You have the risk reversal, and then in the end you have customer testimonials or experts, etc. So these are the general elements that your landing page should have. And now let me go through each of these elements in a little more depth so that you know exactly how to use them and why to use them. First of all, when we look at the title, we want people to, read the rest. The only goal of the title is to make people read the rest of the page. It's not to sell, it's not to qualify them, it's just that they decide to read the second paragraph. So I recommend that you have an absolute max of like 15 words. Better is if you have like 10 to 13 words. Keep it concise, keep it to the point, and include numbers if possible, because numbers is something that we immediately pay attention to. So if you have a title only of words, sure, it can definitely work, but if you have a number in there at some place, it's where people immediately get attracted to, and this helps in increasing the session duration and increases the rate of people that actually scroll through the whole page. One example of a landing page that of a title that we used for that exact client that I talked about with the projectors, we tested like probably 20 different landing pages over the course of several months, and this one actually worked best in the end. It sounds a little strange, but it was bring a cinema-like movie experience to your home for $97, not thousands. So it might sound a little basic, but it actually worked very well. The point is you have a number in here. In this case, it's a price. It's not something that I always recommend, but if you have a really, really good price, like people literally go crazy about it because it's such a great offer, you can even include the price in the title to make people enticed to learn more. In general, I don't recommend this though. Typically you have like three common issues that your product solves, or the special features of your product, or just something like that, put into a number for people to immediately capture people's attention. The introduction then is kind of what is this page and product about. So it's very to the point, and it's kind of like your second headline. So the goal here is again to make people read further, but now it's actually time to pre-qualify them. So the point is, with the introduction, you want to make sure that they are in the right place, so that the people who say, okay, this is what the product is about, interesting, it's actually what I'm interested in myself, so they decide then to read on. The headline makes them read the introduction makes them either determine whether they want to read the rest of the page because they are the right customer or not, and they will just leave. But the introduction is usually what either scares people away or keeps them in your funnel. Then the pain point. So talk about an issue that your target audience has and then make it bigger. That's a very important step because, of course, not every pain point or problem is that dramatic, right? So sure, if it's something money related or security related, sure, you can create a very strong pain point around like a security system and say that you live in a dangerous place if you don't have a security camera or something. But many things, especially when it comes to like toys or small kitchen gadgets, you don't have these huge pain points, so you have to inflate them and make them sound bigger and more painful than they actually are. So common pain points are things like time-intensive things, difficult things, boring things, dangerous things, and expensive things. So if you have a solution to a problem, or if you have an alternative to a very expensive product, this can be a thing here. For example, let's say you sell a very basic, interesting smartwatch that you find in China, and you have this as an alternative to like the Apple Watch. Or, you know, dangerous things. If we are in the kitchen space now, you sell a kitchen gadget that prevents you from like cutting your fingers or something, then it's a common pain point that people may cut themselves, or, you know, dangerous things for their children, etc., etc. You have this pain point in place, you address that, you tell them about that pain point and how in the next step then your product can do better. So the solution is essentially where you introduce your product. You talk about the pain point so that people can resonate with it, and then you say, here's the solution, and it's your product in the end, right? So you have to talk about why the product is better, why your solution is better. What, like I said, it can be the better price, the cheaper price, it can be your product is safer, it can be your product is just fun, your product is cool, etc., etc. So you talk first about the benefits of your product, then also of course of the features, because it's not only features, especially if we talk about electronics, etc. People still of course want to know the cold hard features too. The point is you talk about both of these things and focus on the benefits, because remember, we want to give them an impulse, we want to make them impulsively purchase our products. And you of course need images and videos to support your product. So not only text, you need to have like an image of your products from different angles. You need, if it would be perfect if you also have a video of your product in action where people can really see, okay, this is how it works, this is exactly what I need. Then the price, use an irresistible price. So don't just say something like, it's reduced from $100 to $90. If you use a landing page with just one product, you need to make people feel like they're exactly in the right place at the right time. So go with something crazy like it was $140, or normally it's $140, now flash sale like just $30. Of course, it needs to be somewhat believable. This means that it makes a lot of sense with like gadgets and electronics where people don't know exactly the normal price. If you sell something very small like plastic kitchen products, of course you cannot claim it was like $200. The point is though, if you sell like a toy or an electronics product that people have no idea what the normal cost is, you can really come up with those things and say like, normally we sell it for 120, now it's just a, I don't know, Black Friday flash sale for like 29, and you can get it right away. Also, offer payment plans if possible for you. So if it's the more expensive items, like I said, $150, $200, and your liquidity allows it, allow them a payment plan. So allow them to pay in like 3 months, or allow them to use services like Afterpay in Australia. I worked with multiple clients in Australia and they used Afterpay so that people, it makes it easier for people to actually buy a product if they can, you know, pay in 3 months or 6 months, or can pay like 30 days later. These things all increase your conversion rate. Also work with coupons and limited time offers, and especially free shipping. Remember guys, you have a one product store, which means they cannot combine multiple products to get over this free shipping threshold. So you should always put free shipping in your price already, so that you can always offer free shipping, because it will drastically increase your conversions if you do that. Of course, you can also say like limited time free shipping. This will then also further increase your conversions due to like urgency. Then the risk reversal is extremely important. You want people to actually, you know, feel that this is a no-brainer, that they cannot do anything wrong. So this is very important, and this is the task of the risk reversal. Use a 30-day money back guarantee, for example. So tell them you have absolutely nothing to lose here. If you don't like the product, just return it in 30 days. Now, of course, it depends on you whether you can do that, and also on the product. If it's a product that rarely like breaks, or there is not too much to argue about, then you can of course do this comfortably. If it's a product that is highly subjective, like certain toys or so, it's probably difficult to offer something like that. You know, things may break easily, probably they just don't like it, and you don't want to get like a 20% refund rate. great. But if it's something where you can confidently say, okay, I offer that, it's no problem at all, offer them a 30-day guarantee or 60-day or something like this, because you will see that the amount of additional conversions that you get is normally worth the few additional returns that you get. Then the testimonials, extremely important. Ideal is if you have like photos and videos, so people using the product, people talking about the product, etc. Use customer names whenever you can, and have some social media testimonials too. So don't just put like headshots of people onto your page. Also, if possible, have like a gallery of Instagram, have Instagram posts of people. Of course, this is something that you can only do a little further down the line when you actually have some customers, etc. But do this as soon as possible, because this is enormously powerful if people can see that you are not only claiming you make those sales and have those customers. Instagram and Facebook are normally environments where it's a little harder for you to fake those things if they see that other accounts are involved as well. When it then comes to the upselling part, well, first of all, let's actually have a look at another landing page that I can show you, I believe is pretty good and fulfills all these things. And this is right here, the Proven Nights Solution thing here by Lolly Sleep. So very first here we have Stop Night Terrors, Rest Easy. Very short headline, but it gives you exactly an idea what this is about. And then it says, up at night comforting your child through night terrors. You're not alone. We created the Sleep Guardian to give parents a non-medicated, scientifically proven solution that stops 80% of night terrors, and so on and so forth. If you read that very small little paragraph here, you are either you think, okay, I'm at the right place, or you think, no, that's not for me, and you go. But the point is that this little, that these 4 lines of text here pre-qualify you. And if you think, okay, this is what I need, then you go ahead and watch and read the rest of the page. So this was the first step. And then we see multiple things like proven to stop 8 of 10 night terrors, verified in over 10,000 nights of testing, trusted by parents. So here is then where we talk about the, what the features and the benefits of these products are. Very straightforward, to the point. Then options for every family. So what I call the price, we now have 2 different pricing options actually. And then you need, further down the line, we have the testimonials. We have the actually an expert talking about how this product works. We have the testimonials from other people here. So Jackie, Lucy, whatever it is. We have more websites to back it up. Of course, very powerful if you can use things like TechCrunch and Inc, etc. But of course, not all of you may be able to do that. But this is how a typical one product landing page should be structured, that you immediately segment and filter the people that you don't want. Then you talk about, the pain points of the customer, how your product can help. Of course, you can also do it like they do it right here, adding some social proof right away already, but it doesn't really matter how you do the exact combination and the exact order of these things. It's just important that you start with the headline and the introduction, and normally start with the pain point, and then the rest is not that important, even though I prefer to stick to the structure that I just mentioned in the slides before. So let's just get back to the presentation right here. And so after you've done with the testimonials and with the overall website design, we then talk about upsells. Upsells are extremely important when it comes to one product stores, one product landing pages, because you need to maximize that AOV. And if you have the right upsells in place, you can easily increase your AOV by like 30 to 50% or even double it. So typical things that you can do is offer an extended warranty, right? So say something like, hey, for an additional 19 bucks, you get an extended 1-year warranty. And very few people will actually make use of that, but very many people, especially if it's a more expensive item, will buy it. So you will see just very few returns, but a lot of additional sales that make up for those few returns. Also, volume discounts can be very powerful. If you go ahead and say something like the second product costs 20% less, the third product 50% less, this can work very well. First of all, you just have those, normally the shipping costs for you don't add up with each and every product, but you make way more profits with each product. And also you can add like additional batteries if you sell like a drone or in general electronics products. You can add just products that go well with this product. The point is, the money in one product stores lays in the upsells if you do it the right way. So sure, you can be profitable on the front end without any upsell already, but of course you want to maximize that AOV so that you can pay more on advertising, etc. Also, what is very interesting is if you offer a free digital product at checkout. So let's say you sell a drone, you can offer them like a free 2-hour course of how to use that drone, like a 2-hour video, or like a very to the point course of how to like handle the drone, how to do certain tricks, and how to use it in the best way possible. You can also give them access to like a Facebook group of drone users, and so that they can talk with each other. If you sell a kitchen gadget, you can show them like 15 recipes to cook with this gadget. It's just a little gimmick that they can get on top, and you can say something like, hey, just for like 2 more days, get this free cooking ebook on top of it. Sure, it's something that many people have been using, and probably it's not effective on every single user, but the point is there are always people who go crazy about that, and who will then, this will then serve as this final trigger to actually make that sale. So this being said, now you know how to like pick the product. If you didn't already have one in mind for you, you know how to build out that landing page, you know the different elements that you have to use. Like I said, you can use Shopify, you can use the landing page tool. Now let's talk a little bit more about the marketing strategy. And I want to give you that view from the top, what we did, and then some different steps. I don't want to go into like the Google Ads account and create an ad from scratch and then go into Facebook and do the same. Again, this would then take like literally hours. I just want to give you the ideas and the strategies and the tips that we use so that you can use them for yourself as well. So first of all, what we used Google for, the main goals for Google Ads in this whole process are: find craving buyers to then create lookalike audiences on Facebook, launch laser targeted YouTube ads, because if you have impulse purchase products, you can literally use YouTube, and if you create a great YouTube ad, people are fired up, people are excited, they go to your page, and if the product is not too expensive, they will literally be able to check out immediately and buy it. So this is something that we did as well. It worked very well. If you want to learn more about YouTube ads, how to use them the right way, I also have a video about only YouTube ads on my channel, where you then will be able to dive deeper into it. And as I said, I won't be covering every single thing in detail here, so you can pick those videos from my channel to learn more about the individual sources, the individual traffic sources that we use. Then also do remarketing on display placement. So remarketing, of course, also works well on Facebook, but I believe that remarketing on Google, because you can use all kind of websites, is very powerful, because you can literally follow people on wherever they are going, and it's enormously powerful to do remarketing on display too. So these are the 3 main things we are using Google Ads for. I will talk a little bit more about them later on. Then Facebook, the 2 main goals of Facebook in this case are to use LLAs from Google to find more customers, and build an engaging video ad and build social proof. So if you have a good video ad, it's something like an asset, right? If you have a video ad that gets a ton of likes and shares, you can literally pour more and more money into it, and if it also converts well, then you have literally a killer ad asset that you can build up, and that you can always use to show that social proof and show that engagement. You can even like show it on your website to see people that 6 million people have watched this video or something like that. But also we will use Facebook ads to scale this whole thing, because the potential of Google Ads is very limited when you only have one product and you want to really massively scale it. Then influencers, we use it to get social proof from them. We use it to build up a good gallery to list on your store. Like I just said before, we want that Instagram gallery on our store, on our page, so that people see that literally other people are using our products, that we are also active on social media, which makes us more like personal as a brand. And also we want to get some buzz around our product, or your product in this case. So there are 3 steps with the marketing strategy. First of all, some initial social proof, then some first sales, and then the scaling process. I have to mention that the initial social proof and first sales can be done at the same time, so you don't need to only get followers first before you actually start running like conversion focused campaigns. You can do this at the same time. The point is though, I recommend that you get some sort of social proof, because especially if you just have one product that you want to sell, it makes a lot of sense to get social proof for this one particular product only. So in the initial social proof phase, like I said, you can create an IG account, so an Instagram account, and I recommend that you do so on day 1 already, and that you post content once or twice a day. The point is, you can also get some free traffic from it, and maybe also some sales, but you will also see more like more natural. You will be perceived as an actual brand that is posting content, that is engaging with people, and that always looks better than just an empty Instagram account or no Instagram account at all. Also, Ask influencers to test your product. So go to some small micro influencers, ask them whether they want to do a little review, a little testimonial about your product, whether they want to use it. The point is, don't just give them like a product photo and say, here, do a shout out for one day. I see that all people do that. It's definitely the wrong way to use influencers. Sure, it can work, but it definitely won't help you build up your brand and your store. Also, ask customers to post content with your product for gift cards, loyalty points, etc. So if they buy your product, probably at some point they will buy another one of those, or probably at some point you will add another product to the store, making it like a 2-product store in a way. And you can ask people to do those content posts in exchange for gift cards, loyalty points, etc. This can work extremely well. Also, take your IG or Facebook page to 500 to 1,000 followers. This should be one of your small first goals. Like I said, you can also start advertising and driving conversion actions before that, but it should be an aim that you get them to this threshold of 500 to 1,000 to make your brand and store at least look somewhat trustworthy in a way. Then when it comes to first sales, one of your first things to do is Google Shopping. So Google Shopping is actually not that complex with one product because there is not much that you can do. So the whole section will be very, very short. You just need a very optimized feed, because remember, you just have one product, which means you can dedicate all the time in the world to fully max out that product's potential, which means spend a lot of time writing a great product title, spend a lot of time writing a great product description of minimum 500 words so that people can or 500 characters, so that people can then fully find your product on Google Shopping. And also make sure that you add a ton of keywords in your title and description, because of course your reach will be limited with just one product and you need to grab all the search queries that you can. Also start with a budget of like $5 to $10. If you have a total ad budget of $50, you can use $10 and dedicate the rest to like influencers, YouTube, Facebook. If you have a very small ad budget, don't dedicate more than like $5 to shopping, because you also want to test other channels and not only shopping. Because if you just have a one product store, you definitely want to test multiple things at once, and not like, if you just use only Google Shopping with a one product store, you will see that there is not that much that you can do and you cannot test that many different angles. Also add new negative keywords daily once search queries come in. So whenever you see people looking for your product and you see, okay, this search query is totally off to what I sell, immediately exclude it, because the last thing you want is only spending $5 a day on just one product, but the majority of clicks that come in are totally irrelevant. So make sure that you target the right right queries by actually excluding the ones that don't work well for you. Then Google search is very powerful for one product stores, because you can tell Google exactly what you're looking for. So build a campaign with like 2 to 5 ad groups about your product, where per ad group you talk about different things. So one, you talk about the main keywords of your products, right, where you talk about the actual product in the way. In another ad group, you might actually talk about competitors. So you might trigger by competitor keywords and then direct people to your store, telling them something. It depends on the individual case whether you can do that, but there are literally ways where you can say, hey, we are the #1 Apple smartwatch alternatives. You always have to be careful here when using other brand names and competitor names, but you can literally sometimes do that. And also, even just getting triggered by other competitor keywords can be useful, especially if you have the capacity to create like multiple landing pages and then having a full landing page only dedicated to reviewing or comparing your product to a competitor. Then another very powerful thing to do is having a keyword or an ad group in place that is talking about reviews. So you will always get those people asking for like reviews for a specific product, like smartwatch reviews or this and this kitchen gadget reviews. And you can literally do that. If you have a lot of reviews on your site, you can do that. The point is, a review ad group is always somewhat difficult because obviously you are not objective. So you can try it, but it depends on your budget. If your budget is somewhat small, I wouldn't try the review ad group here. Then, craft 2 to 3 ads per ad group, because you want that maximum test results. You want to talk about the benefits, about the features. You want to just test those ads in general. So you have 2 to 5 ad groups with 2 to 3 ads each. And this together with like Google Shopping and the other advertising channels that you use gives you all those different angles, right? All these different ad angles. You can test people from all kind of traffic sources, different target groups, and this will help you find out very early which of those traffic sources you should allocate the majority of your budget on. Then when it comes to YouTube, you need an attention-grabbing video of like 60 to 120 seconds, quickly introducing people to your product, and you need to make sure that you filter out everyone that isn't related within the first 30 seconds, so that you're not wasting money on those that are not relevant for your business, because you only pay for someone if they watch at least 30 seconds of your video. Then make it easy for people to visit your site and buy. So it should be very frictionless. It should be a very easily consumable video. You should send them to a page that is very easy to navigate, etc., etc. Then it's worth testing because of really cheap views. So YouTube is absolutely amazing because you can literally get views for like a tenth of a cent. This is what I get on a regular basis. But even if you just pay like 1 or 2 cents for a 30-second view, this is really, really powerful, because a 30-second view is pretty tailored and pretty targeted and pretty interested in your product potentially. So if you want to learn more about this, about how to set up YouTube ads, check out my YouTube ads tutorial for e-commerce on my channel as well, where I talk like 15 or 20 minutes about YouTube ads and how to use them in the best possible way. This is then the next step, and like I said, this way you can go in depth on specifically the YouTube channel in this case. When it comes to Facebook, I recommend that you set up a conversion campaign that you have at least two ad sets. One of them where you can test like a broad audience and make use of Facebook's machine learning. On the other hand, you may test a narrow audience if you have a lot of insights in your target group. Like, you shouldn't assume anything just because you're selling some like cosmetics product. You shouldn't go with a super narrowed cosmetics audience. But if you have a perfect or ideal customer in place, you can model this customer on Facebook ads. But you should always, from my experience, use a broad audience, because Facebook's pixel and machine learning, etc., became so dedicated that they literally can find you customers at a very effective rate. So make sure that you have a broad audience, and then put the majority of your testing into ads and visuals. So don't test too many different ad groups. Focus your testing on like copywriting, on ad creation, on videos, on images. As I said here, have at least like an image ad and a video ad for each target group, for each ad set. And you can, of course, ideal is if you have like 5, 7, 10 or more creatives per ad set. Like I said, different copywriting, different, even if you use like different thumbnails for your videos, this can even have an impact already. When it comes to scaling then, on Google Shopping there is not much to say, because it's very hard to scale for a one product store. So we won't really use scaling. As soon as you hit that maximum, as soon as you hit your daily spend consistently, you can increase it to the point where it doesn't hit its daily spend anymore. And there is not much more that you can do after it hits that daily spend, because obviously you cannot define any keywords. So the only thing that you could do is adding more keywords and adding more text to your feed, but that's it. For Google search, however, we can add more and more and more keywords to the point where the maximum volume is reached and the CPA will go up significantly. So let's say we're now getting very profitable conversions at like $5 per conversion. We are adding more and more keywords because we want more and more volume. At some point we pay like $7, $8, $10, $12, and we say that the maximum CPA we are willing to spend is like $14 before it's just too unprofitable for us. So as soon as we hit that $14 in CPA, this is where the scaling on Google search hits its limit. But of course we should be constantly optimizing, bringing our CTR up, reducing our CPC, so that we can get more and more people into our page, into our ecosystem, then hit them up with retargeting, etc. So consider slight variations of your landing page depending on the search query to further take this to the next level. So like I said, if people are looking for like reviews for your products, you should send them to a page where you do a product review for this specific product. If they are looking for other parts of the product, you should also do that. Keep in mind that you don't need that from day one, but if you truly want to scale and you want to do like 100 or spend 100 or 200 or even more dollars per day just for that one singular product, you may need to do these things to still remain profitable and have this high volume. Then experiment with different keyword groups that didn't seem useful at first. So in the beginning, you probably only want to target the most relevant keyword combinations, but at some point, if you really want to get that volume and you don't care that much about the, you know, profitability in each and every sale anymore, make sure that you only add keyword groups that first of all have not been that successful. On Facebook, the scaling is super important. So next to YouTube, it's probably the most important channel for scaling long-term. You need to create LLAs of add to carts, of sales, and potentially even website visitors. You create audiences of 1 and 2 million people minimum, depending on the product. So if it's a broader product, you can definitely consider creating like 5 or even 10 million people audiences, and then put all your testing in like the ad creative and scale these to the moon. So I don't want to go in depth here on scaling. That's a whole science by itself, and like I said, it's more about the whole process from start to finish. But the point is, test various creatives and then see where you can get by also at some point eventually using manual bidding, but also auto bidding works very, very well with Facebook. I barely use anything else but auto bidding. So this can definitely get you to the point where you are hitting those 5 or even 6 figures per month with this one product alone. Very important though, the CLV will normally be limited, so the front-end profitability is important. Which means if you have a normal store and you're about to brand it and everything, you can still sell people other products from your store. If you just have a one-product store, chances are somewhat low that they will buy another one of those products soon. Of course, it depends on your product. If it's like a usable or a consumable product, then this is the case. Probably also, you know, they will buy another one for their friends. Probably you can introduce a second product at some point in time, but the point is, the CLV is usually equal to the initial sales volume. And this is why it is important that you are profitable immediately. So people always say the money's in the back end. Yeah, it's not that much true for a one product store. Of course, I also count the upsells that you do on the first sale to this front end product in this case. So sure, if you have a great upsell sequence in place, this is definitely enormously helpful to get more sales out of it. Then when it comes to influencers, the bigger your profile, the easier it is to find more influencers. So in our case, when we hit that over 30K now, it is easier to find more influencers to work with because we have like more organic engagement on our posts. People see that we have a bigger audience and they are like, okay, these guys actually must be know what they're talking about. It's hard to find influencers and, you know, get good rates for them if you have like 2 pictures on your page and 17 followers or something, because they believe you just want to hire them to get some quick sales. And especially if you want to do it for like product only, most of them will decline. Also, invest in partnerships for social proof and direct sales. So the more money you make, get more influencers on board, build your network, and use tools like Heapsy to find a lot of micro influencers that you can use at scale instead of using like 1 or 2 big ones. I know it's tempting that once you make a lot of money, you just hire like a 500,000 or 1 million follower Instagram account, and it can work well, but normally it's better to invest that extra work and time to find like 20 micro influencers instead of 1 big one. It means that you get a lot of new fresh eyeballs. It means that you get a lot of different people to potentially use content from, etc., etc. So it's very important to use micro influencers at scale, even if you make a ton of sales already. So now, this all being said, guys, I hope that it already helped you, but I have some recap and final notes here. As I said, we talked on a very strategic level and probably expected some more nitty-gritty like operational stuff, but it's not really something that I can do in a video talking about everything. So then I would have to split it up into like, I don't know, 5 one-hour videos or something like that. So I hope that it was still helpful. Some final recaps and notes. First of all, if you have a one product store, always have like 1 or 3 upsells in place, as I said. So use that warranty extension, use that other upsell, use that battery, use that cross-sell. Also, you should, like I said, use a super narrow or a broad appeal. Don't have something in between where you cover like a whole niche. Either have something very specific where you can easily find target customers for, or have something, like I said, the projector, you know, a smartwatch, etc., things that are very broad where potentially many people are interested in. Then Multiple traffic sources are extremely important here, because if you just have one traffic source and it doesn't work for your product, then that's it, right? You just have one product. There is not other products that you can test. And if your product doesn't work on Google Shopping, for example, there isn't much that you can do, because you can only edit your feed. You can change your picture, you can change your pricing eventually, you can change your title, but you cannot like write a whole new copywriting angle or something like that on shopping. So it's important that you start testing multiple traffic sources from day one, because you never know which of them will work for that product. So that's extremely important. But also consider like full A/B tests for your landing page. So Google Experiments and other tools can be used to do that. If you use ClickFunnels, you can do that by default already. It's extremely important that you do A/B testing, because you just have this one product and you want to make sure that you have the perfect landing page. I mean, you only have one landing page that you need to invest your time in, so it's definitely worth it, and it's definitely time and resources well spent if you create if you can create 2, 3, maybe even 4 variants of your landing page and see which one works best. Like testing multiple headlines, testing even multiple price points and stuff like that. And then you can also introduce affiliate systems depending on the product price. So depending on how much you charge, if it's like $50, $60, $70, $80 or more, you can also hire affiliates that advertise your products for you. It's something that we did a lot for a one product store, and this can work very, very well for your business too. This being said, guys, I hope that you enjoyed this full scale, like not really case study, but this full scale strategy guide on how to make sales with a one product store quite easily. And this is, in my opinion, the best way to do it. Of course, it takes a lot of work setting all these things up, especially with like social media on top of it and testing all these different traffic sources. But the point is, because you always talk about one product only, you really become an expert in this niche. You really, you know, collect a lot of creatives only for that product, and it makes the whole mass creation of ads way easier than it is with like 100 different products. So if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and also subscribe for more in-depth e-commerce content. As I said, if you want to win a free 1-hour consultation session with me, then check the link in the description, where you will be able to enter a giveaway, so that we sit down on Skype for like 1 full hour. We talk about your advertising, about your product testing, about your page, you know, your Shopify store, whatever it is. 1 full hour. I normally sell that for at least $150. So make sure that you participate, and potentially we will sit down soon together and talk about your business. This being said, guys, I really hope that you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe for more, and I will hopefully see you in the next lesson and in the next video too. Until then, I wish you all the best with your business, and bye bye.